How do you stop a mind that won't stop? You are washing dishes at night, and the water is loud. But the louder the water, the louder your head. First, it replays the thing you said wrong this afternoon, 3 times, each with fresh commentary. Do they think I'm stupid? You're not thinking, you're being held hostage by thinking. We've all tried everything to make it stop. Deep breaths, counting sheep, saying stop it loudly inside our own heads. And then something surfaces that turns out to be the whole key. Telling it to stop is part of the problem. The harder you press down, the harder it springs back. 2,500 years ago, someone gave this restless mind a name, in a metaphor so precise that neuroscientists still borrow it today. The metaphor goes like this. The mind, the Buddha said, is like a monkey swinging through the forest, branch to branch, never still, grabbing whatever it touches. The monkey mind. Watch your own thoughts and you'll see it. From an unanswered message, to an embarrassing memory from 3 years ago, to a disaster that hasn't happened and probably never will. The monkey doesn't need a reason. Swinging is simply what it does. Modern science filled in the second half. The brain runs something called the default mode network. The moment you're not focused on a task, it switches on and starts wandering, remembering, rehearsing the future. Useful feature originally. It's how humans plan and learn from mistakes. But it ships with a factory bias. It is obsessed with negative information. The reason is simple. On the ancient savannah, the person who assumed the rustling grass was a lion survived. The relaxed one got eaten. Every one of us is descended from the overthinkers. Anxiety isn't a character flaw. It's an outdated survival program that never got uninstalled. The trouble is that in modern life, this program spirals. Psychology distinguishes 2 kinds of thinking. Problem solving produces an action. Rumination, the word literally means a cow regurgitating grass to chew it again, loops the same thought in circles, generating anxiety and exactly 0 action. The test is one question. After 10 minutes of this thought, has anything become different? No? That's rumination. As for what rumination costs, the Roman philosopher Seneca wrote to a friend 2,000 years ago and left what may be the most accurate sentence in human history. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Look back at your most painful nights. How much of that pain came from actual events, and how much from the trailer? The brain is the world's most vicious film editor. It takes things that haven't happened, cuts them into the worst possible version, adds a soundtrack, and forces you to watch on repeat. So what do we do? One fake goal has to go first, stopping thought. It cannot be done. The brain secretes thoughts the way the heart pumps blood. It's a biological function. Command it not to think, and it thinks harder. Not convinced? Right now, do not think of a white bear. See? Every technique that promises an empty mind fails, because the goal itself is wrong. The real method isn't changing the thoughts, it's changing your seat. Picture yourself standing on a train platform. Every thought is a train pulling in. Your old habit? A train arrives. Does he hate me? And you jump aboard and ride it to the last stop, a station called Nobody Likes Me. Mindfulness teaches exactly one skill. Stand on the platform. Watch the train arrive. Watch it leave. Don't board. Thought comes, you notice it came. Thought goes, you don't chase it. You stop being the passenger and become the observer. How do you practice that? There's a 3-minute technique called thought labeling. Sit down, close your eyes, do nothing except watch thoughts appear. Each time one shows up, stick a label on it. Worry about work arrives. Say inwardly, planning. Today's embarrassing scene replays. Remembering. A catastrophe screenplay starts writing itself. Imagining. That's the whole technique. And here's the magic. The moment you name a thought, it shrinks by half. Because I'm doomed and I notice a thought called I'm doomed are two entirely different states of mind. In the first, you're underwater. In the second, you're standing on the shore. 2 practical add-ons. 1. Give the monkey office hours. Schedule 15 minutes of daily worry time. Whenever a worry pops up during the day, tell it, you have an appointment, 7 p.m. When 7 comes, sit down and worry professionally. You'll find half the worries have evaporated before the meeting. 2. The brain dump. Before bed, write down everything on your mind. Not to solve it, just to record it. Once the brain confirms that someone has written it down, it loosens its grip. Most of its noise was just fear of forgetting. There's one more road, and too few people know it. Anxiety lives in the head, but its exit is often through the body. Rumination is most vicious when you are still, lying down, sitting, staring at a screen. In those moments, you cannot out-argue a thought. The most effective move is to get physical. A brisk 20-minute walk, a set of squats, tidying the room, even just standing up and washing your face. That's not avoidance, it's physiology. Movement directly changes the brain's chemistry, and when the body gets busy, the default mode network goes quiet. Remember the order. The body moves first, and only then does the mind stop. Fight anxiety head-on and you lose. Walk around to the back of the stage and unplug it, and you win. One last thing. People who overthink are usually not broken people. They're people who care. You care about doing well, about others, about the future. That's why the wheel keeps spinning. So stop scolding yourself. The job was never to kill the monkey. It's to live with it. When it chatters, look at it, call it by its name, and then gently place your attention back into the evening you are actually living. Did today's episode help? Tell us in the comments, what time does your brain clock in for its night shift? And which reruns does it love most? And subscribe. Every day, a little closer to understanding life. See you tomorrow.